this week's episode, we take a look at the first trailer for the upcoming Tetris movie.
And has the UK's Competition and Markets Authority managed to confirm new Nintendo hardware? I'm Anthony.
And I'm Barry, and this is episode 87 of the Retro Gaming Dads podcast, the podcast for everything retro and retro-inspired.
You're off this time, aren't you, this week? I ain't seen you again.
Yeah, we've swapped places. You're often to actually do some work, and I am wasting my week off, actually, because I'm just sleeping the entire time.
Have to do some work. The cheek. Anyway, have you had a chance to play any games so far?
I have been trying to play Octopath Traveler.
Okay. On what?
On the Xbox.
Is that for achievements?
On the Xbox, because it's the version where I've made the most progress.
Okay, so you're at least trying to get one of the games you've got completed.
Yeah. Especially before Octopath Traveler 2 comes out, which is very, very soon if it's not already out.
No, I don't think it's out yet. Anything else you played?
Just that and GoldenEye. I'm getting pretty close to the end of GoldenEye, although I am actually only going through on agents and secret agents. I haven't pushed it through to 00 agent yet.
Not yet.
No, not yet. Yeah, I'm having a good time with them.
Sweet. Well, I've actually been able to try Wild Hearts. So Wild Hearts is a new game from EA, and thankfully, due to having Game Pass and EA Access, it's actually on there for a 10-hour free trial.
Is this the one that looks a bit like Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I would say it's like Monster Hunter crossed with Dark Souls.
See, as soon as you said Dark Souls, my interest in this is just plummeted.
No, don't take it so, because it's kind of it's more some of the different actions it does. The fighting style isn't quite the same as Dark Souls. It's just more the way it does certain aspects within the game. And trust me, try the game. It's definitely worth a try.
Gameplay-wise, I didn't really have too much issue with Dark Souls. My issues were the settings. I'm not really that big of a fan of medieval sort of settings or fantasy settings. And the other one was Phil just draining all the fun out of it.
Okay, well, first of all, I don't know if Phil has played this yet, and it's more like a demo because you only have access to the first area of the game. So there's 3 different sort of creatures you can hunt and kill. You can replay them, but when you then try to progress and then go to like the village, it asks you to buy the full game. But it's definitely worth a try.
Seems odd that it's both a demo and limited by your 10 hours of play. You'd think it'd just be one or the other, really, wouldn't you?
Yeah, because otherwise people do the same as what I did with Anthem and just play the 10-hour free trial, never actually buy the game and never actually use up your full 10 hours, but complete the game still.
Actually, I downloaded Anthem again so that I could play through it, and I did mention it to you, didn't I, now that it's on EA Access?
Yes, I have set it to download. I forgot to do it, so it's currently downloading now. So might not really ready for us to play tonight, but next time we play, we'll be there.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's such a shame that they just pushed out the door to die. They never supported it, never gave it any meaningful content, and then just decided to wash their hands of it with Anthem next.
I know it was such a shame. It had such a great concept, and I'm sorry, I feel like a boss running around in the heavy mech armor like the Hulkbuster. You know my colors. My colors are the Hulkbuster colors. I look like it. I feel like it. Oh,
yeah.
Great.
Just running through with your shield, going choo choo, and just knocking everything out the way.
The amount of times
not only
I can't
that,
help but make the noise.
Yeah, not only that, but going the all-rounder sort of suit.
Yes.
And as you're flying past, just firing missiles off everywhere like Tony Stark or something. It's pretty cool. There's such a great foundation for a game.
Oh, it is. It really is. And because they did add like one bit of additional content. It's like seasonal content, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't even remember what it is.
And then they left it in there and then didn't do anything else. Yeah, it was like that raid with like all the thunder and like...
Do with the storm or something, I think it was.
But they put it in and then they left it in because they were like, oh, we're not going to do anything else with it now. And then that was it.
Yeah.
And it's a massive shame.
Unfortunately, it's a dead game now, but if you've not played it all the way through, I'll play it through with you in co-op. But then I think that's it. I don't think I'll ever go back to the game.
Now, if anything, I might download it and just try and rinse the achievements and play through it again, like you said. And then that's it.
What about yourself? Anything else other than Wild Hearts?
Well, we've also been playing The Division. Don't forget that. We've been playing that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We've been playing The Division quite a bit.
Yeah, we have. So we've completed all the 100 floors.
Yeah, we got all the way to the top of the summit, didn't we?
Yes.
On easy. Well, on normal. Yeah. We haven't done it on hard.
In all fairness, I jumped in with you about on the 30th floor. So yeah. I kind of like took a free ride.
Yeah, I think we got from like floor 30 odd up to about, was it 70?
Yeah.
And then you came back on. I'm like, yeah, I'm on floor 96 now.
I was like, I'll jump in quick, we'll finish it. And then.
And no achievement. That's the only reason around through to get an achievement.
Absolutely shocking.
But we did find some good gear and 2 good SMGs, didn't we? Sorry, assault rifles.
Yes, they were assault rifles, even though they look like SMGs.
Yeah.
We had a good laugh on it, and it was good to jump on that again and play through it.
Before we get into the news, should we say a massive thank you to Bobby Socks and
Short Gizmo. As always, your continued patronage is really, really appreciated.
Now, going back to me working my way through Octopath Traveler, getting ready for the sequel coming out, Microsoft have dropped a nice bit of news for me.
I know.
They're taking it off Game Pass.
Is leaving. So you now panicking thinking, it says on the 28th you're leaving. So by the time you listen to this, if you listen to it on the Monday, it's going tomorrow.
Yeah,
so Barry, you've got a week.
A week from today, isn't it?
Well, you're off this week, so...
I'm getting like an hour or 2 to play games. Between Kerry doing a uni work, the baby, and Elliot, I've had no time to do anything. Unfortunately, Octopath Traveler will be leaving Game Pass alongside a couple of other games, the main one being Final Fantasy 13 Free Lightning Returns.
A game I've not played, but yes, that is leaving also.
Do you know what? I haven't played it. Actually, recently, I've been going through all my Xbox games.
Okay. All of your Xbox games. Oh, flip me. So there's 3, I'd say what?
There's
60-litre boxes?
There's 4 boxes there. There's 1 in the hall and still 2 or 3 in the loft.
Why are you going through your 360 games, may I ask?
Seeing what games I've got, what I can get rid of, and putting them all in spreadsheets so I know which box they're in. If ever I do want to find them.
The fact you're having a spreadsheet, are you going to print out like a list of what's in what box and stick on the box?
No. Don't be silly. I'm not going to waste paper. I've just got it on my iPad and my phone.
Flipping it. So are you actually going to try and condense it down a bit?
A little bit. I'm just going to get rid of all the sports games that I'm not going to ever play.
That'd be like 5 of them, surely.
I've got lots of sports games.
Really?
Yeah, I've got lots of tennis and golf games and stuff like that. I actually went through and I did find Final Fantasy 13, 13-2 and Lightning Returns in there.
Oh, okay.
And then realised I've never actually played. Lightning Returns.
Honestly, what's the point of you getting these games and not playing them?
I don't have time. Final Fantasy 13 was a good 60 to 80 hour game. Final Fantasy 13-2 wasn't much shorter.
Look, if I can find chance to play through and complete Mass Effect,
I've completed Mass Effect multiple times.
Yeah, I know, but recently.
Well, recently, I'm getting no sleep at the moment. There's only so long I can sit on the loo playing on the Switch or the Steam Deck.
What until your legs start to hurt? Even
then, I don't get any peace and quiet when I'm sat in there anymore.
Dad, go away.
Yeah, I can't even take my phone in anymore because Elliot starts trying to FaceTime me and thinks it's funny. You can just hear him laughing on the other side of the door.
Oh no, I never have my phone anymore. Rose's always got my phone.
No, Miles ain't having my phone. You're just absolutely insane if you're giving your phone to you. What, 2-year-old? Is she 2 yet?
Yeah. No, she's not quite 2 yet.
Yeah. Oh.
No, but she's only allowed if she's sat on my lap. She's not allowed to walk around with it. However, there's not splats when she sneezes though. Oh, delightful.
No chance. Although, actually today, Elliot did drop Kerry's Switch and it made a very loud bang as it hit the tiled floor in the kitchen. Luckily, it seems all right. Analog sticks are working, buttons work, no damage to the screen.
Any rattling?
No, thankfully. That was the first thing. I was picking it up and checking it. I was like, oh, don't be broken. Right. So, Unfortunately for fans of RPGs with Game Pass, we are losing two big ones, Octopath Traveler and Final Fantasy. Hopefully we'll get something good coming back in, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of these Square-Enix RPGs are moving away from the Xbox. Now, if only we could get Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Xbox.
Do you know what? I actually heard a rumor that it is coming to the Xbox, but not in the way we want.
Yes, I have never been so disappointed in my life until you sent me this.
Yeah, so I saw exactly what it was. I saw the jet washer from Power Wash Simulator before I saw the mech.
So Final Fantasy VII is coming as DLC for Power Wash Simulator. Now, when you sent me this, I just saw the title, which was Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Xbox, kind of, and the first boss from when you're inside the reactor. And I was like, oh, finally, it's coming to Xbox.
Then did you click into it and go, hang on a second?
Yes. I was very disappointed.
Obviously, following the very bizarre crossover we had with Croft Manor, I mean, where the heck's this come from?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind as well. I've only just completed this game and uninstalled it because I was spending far too much time on it.
I can't bear myself to uninstall it because I like jumping back on and doing a bit more cleaning.
Well, in all fairness, quite often I'll just jump back on, but through Xbox cloud streaming.
Yes. So this DLC is coming soon. It's coming on the 2nd of March, and it's called the Midgar Special Pack. It is free DLC, like the previous DLC was, and it's come with 5 stages, so a lot more washing to do.
Yeah, and there's quite a few. I'm just looking through the list of things that you do get to hose down in this game. And there's a couple of good ones. So there's the Airbuster. There's Seventh Heaven, which is Tifa's bar from the game.
The Mako Energy Exhibit, which the Mako is what powers the technology in Midgar.
Yeah, the massive reactors.
Yeah, when I was looking at and washing it, it was just a huge room and it was filthy.
Yeah, it does say it's the exhibit and not the entire 100-foot tall reactor, thankfully.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like, it looked like it was looking at a little scale model of a city on the floor.
I think that's probably what it'll be. There's the Scorpion Sentinel, the boss from the picture.
Lastly, we also have the Hardy Daytona and the Shinra Hauler, which is Cloud Strife's bike and a little truck.
Yep. So,
I'm sorry for disappointing you there.
Yeah. Well, I'm used to it by now.
Thanks.
It's been so long since I've played Final Fantasy VII. Actually, another game that I do want to get through by the end of this year. As we did say a few episodes ago, I want to get it completed before Final Fantasy VII Day next year.
Yes. So you've got less than a year now.
Playing it, though, does actually make me feel quite old. But do you know what else makes me feel old?
Go on.
It's actually 10 years this week since PlayStation announced the PlayStation 4 was being released.
No.
Yep. 10 years.
That's just shocking. The previous generation console was announced just about 10 years ago.
No. Well, on the day we're doing this, it's a day over 10 years.
Yeah. I know. I felt like it was only like a few months ago.
Well, it doesn't seem that long ago. And the thing is, though, for some reason, the Xbox 360 seemed to go on forever that generation.
Oh, yeah.
And the Xbox One generation seemed to be over in the blink of an eye. However, the difference in time from when the Xbox 360 came out to the Xbox One, and then from the Xbox One to now, is the same. It's been 8 years.
No, it feels too soon to be saying that.
Before we know it, we'll be like, 10 years ago, the Xbox Series and the PlayStation 5 were announced. And another title actually celebrating its 10th anniversary this week as well is Metal Gear Rising.
Now, this is a game where I only played the demo. I never actually played the full game, sadly. I think because, again, Metal Gear, I think I played 1 or 2 of the games, but never really got into it myself, because when I did play it, I was a bit young for it, so I didn't quite get into it. But now it's definitely a game that I could jump into.
Well, this game is nothing like the Metal Gear Solid series, so this is the more action-orientated cousin. It plays a lot more like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry than the actual Metal Gear Solid titles. But if anyone's interested, or even if you're interested in actually picking it up, Konami's actually having a sale on at the moment where they're slashing, pun intended, 75% off the price of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Now, I am fairly certain that Revengeance is not a real word.
No, I don't think it is, but I don't know what I'm more disappointed about in either your point or the fact you had to point it out.
It makes it even better if I point it out. That's how puns work. Honest. If anyone is interested, they can actually pick it up. It's down from $19.99 to $4.99, but the sale ends 27th of February, which will be the day that this podcast comes out. So better act quick.
Maybe. I'll have a look, see if I fancy it.
So, should we move on to your favourite topic to talk about in these podcasts?
Pokemon is having a live stream event for Pokemon Day. So coming on the February the 27th, they will be having their little Pokemon showcase, which is similar to like Nintendo Direct sort of thing, where they're going to be sharing some exciting news.
Have you any idea what sort of news that they might be announcing?
Now, all they've said is that it's going to be about 20 minutes of exciting Pokemon news, and that's it. So they haven't really given much else. Now, some people speculate that there will be some DLC announced for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but also I've heard a lot of rumors where people think that they will be showcasing and announcing Pokemon for Nintendo Switch Online for the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, which if they do that, it'll blow my mind and I'm going to be getting Nintendo Switch Online.
So if they do announce some of the games coming to Nintendo Switch Online or the expansion pack, which titles do you think they would be? Do you think they'd start off with Red, Blue, and Yellow, or do you think they'll bring a selection across the generations, or what?
I hope they would stagger it. So I think they should release like Red, Blue, and Yellow all together, and then give it a few months, then Gold, Silver, Crystal, and then a few months, and so on and so on. Because the last thing I want is to drop them all at once, and it's like, and you're going to play them all. I'd rather them stagger out so I can take my time playing through each one. So don't just go, oh, I want that one. I want to play that one. Oh, that one's better. I'd rather have a selection to go from and I can play them in order as I did when I was younger.
See, the only thing with that is if they did bring them to it, I would hope that they would actually not just emulate the games, but they would port them so that they could add extra features, like allowing you to transfer your Pokemon to the Pokemon Bank or whatever the online service is called. Which I know they did for the 3DS when they brought Red, Blue, and Yellow across to there as well.
Yeah, so I think they added that. Then they also added trading as well. So you could do online trading without having to use link cables.
Well, I think they could do online trading anyway through the emulator that they've currently got. Because you can play GoldenEye online, can't you? Even though the game itself fundamentally hasn't changed. And they have announced online play for Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games through the Nintendo Online service anyway.
Oh, I'm battling as well. I'll be able to battle you remotely.
Well, you won't be able to battle me because I won't have this.
Evil.
I have no ill intent towards Pokemon, but I do think I've had my fill of Pokemon. I haven't been excited for a Pokemon game probably since Gold and Silver, to be honest.
Disappointed.
I know. I wish it did. When I first played Pokemon Red and then later Yellow, I think it was the sense of like wonder, what Pokemon can I bump into? I didn't know the Pokemon. Yeah. It was very difficult to go online and find a list of the Pokemon and the locations. In all fairness, it was pretty difficult to get online at all at that time. But now, I don't know. Just scrolling through YouTube or something like that, I'm seeing people go, oh, unveiled 7 new Pokemon in the upcoming Pokemon game. I'm like, well, that's ruining it for me.
I know. It just kind of ruins the suspense and the awe, and they're like, oh, what is it, Pokemon?
It was the unknown, and that unknown meant there was so much potential and possibility to what might be in the game. Like, oh, I've heard in Japan, there's this new Pokemon, Peekaboo. And apparently, if you turn around 5 times, cycle up and down Route 23, and do some weird, convoluted series of events, you can unlock it. And you're like...
Well, like Surfing Pikachu.
Yeah, it was a water-based Pikachu, and it turned out to be Marill, I think it was, from Gold and Silver. But now, information's instant. So instead of hearing about some concept art for the upcoming Pokemon Gold and Silver from Japan, which was announced a year or two earlier, now it's instant. It's like, oh yeah, this Pokemon's coming. I always remember the very first Pokemon movie, was it Mewtwo Strikes Back? Or something like that. And it wasn't actually the movie. It was the TV show, the very first episode of the Pokemon anime.
Okay.
It has, is it Ho-Oh or something?
Ho-Oh, yeah. Ho-Oh's flying in the sky.
Yes, flying across. And everyone was like, well, what's that Pokemon? I haven't got it.
It was like, it's a Theero. It was like...
I don't know where you get it. And they just randomly dropped a Gen 2 Pokemon when all the other Pokemon in the series for at least a few episodes after that were all Gen 1. And the Western world had only just got Gen 1 as well.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying, but the thing is, though, it's not... This isn't the game that's happened with it. There's quite a few other games nowadays as well that's done the exact same thing. But I think the reason is we're comparing it to Pokemon is because this is our biggest experience we've had of it.
Well, what other games, then, do you think have suffered in the same way?
I can't think off the top of my head, but I can't really think of it off the top of my head because Pokemon's the one that's really been done that way. But if you just think about how many games do get like a bit of a leak, do get a bit of things coming out, and it's instantaneous, and like you said, things get ruined. You know, Sonic, how much did you have to try and avoid any Sonic?
Yeah, but the problem with that is I play Sonic for the action and the excitement of playing Sonic. I don't go and play Pokemon and think, whoa, such an adrenaline rush. Tackle, growl, tackle. You know, if I knew what the plot of the Sonic game was, I'd be annoyed because I wanted to experience that, but that wouldn't actually ruin the game for me.
Like Pokemon's plot is the exact same thing every time. It's just in a different region with different select Pokemon.
Yeah, and as much as I go, oh, they need to change this formula. When they did with Legends Arceus, I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, but apparently Pokemon Tournament, though.
Sorry?
Was it Pokemon Tournament?
Oh, Pokken? Was it Pokemon?
Oh, sorry,
Tournament?
no, Pokemon Stadium, sorry.
On the N64?
Yeah, no, the GameCube.
The GameCube. Oh, Coliseum.
Yeah, Pokemon Stadium, that was a big change.
It wasn't a full Pokemon game, though, was it?
No. Yeah, it's a hard one. But for me, I would love to relive and play some of the old classic Pokemon games on my Switch. So if they did announce them on there, I would be playing through it.
If they said you can purchase these games for $4.99 and download them to your console, I probably would buy one or two of them. I don't think I'm willing to pay for Nintendo Online plus the expansion pack to get these games, especially when I barely ever played online on the Switch. I had it for 2 years and we played it maybe
a handful of times.
Yeah, that was it.
No, I do get it, and I do agree with you. And I don't get why, with having Nintendo Switch Online, obviously they've got that. Why don't they also put the game so you can buy them as well at the same time? Like
because they want you subscribing month after month or year after year.
Yeah, no, I understand that they do, but just do what Xbox do. Follow the Game Pass, put them in both.
Yeah. Well, should we move on? But we will come back to Nintendo Switch Online a little bit later.
Yes, we shall. We shall move on. And before we move on, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so by leaving us an honest review on your favourite podcasting app.
Alternatively, if you're able to, you can join our Patreon for as little as £1 per month, where you'll receive an ad-free version of the podcast and get shout outs in our next episode.
Now, moving on, talking about oldish games, we've got a really old game to talk about now.
Do you mean movie on?
Yes, movie on. Let me.
I'm on fire with these puns, aren't I?
No.
So, a while ago, we heard that there was a Tetris movie coming, and we were like, how can you make a movie about Tetris?
About some fallen blocks.
Yes.
That just, yeah. It's like, how can you do it?
And I completely forgot this was a thing until this trailer came out.
Yes, and I don't know about you, but I'm actually pleasantly surprised, and I actually feel a bit excited about this thing.
Oh yeah, it looks like some sort of Russian Cold War era espionage movie, doesn't it? And it's supposed to be a biopic.
Yeah, all about Tetris.
It actually looks pretty good.
He's so passionate about this game. I love it.
Well, the story of getting the rights to the Tetris game was something they could have made a movie of anyway, which obviously they are. I do think, however, they are probably raising the stakes a little bit more to make it a bit more exciting. But I'm looking forward to this.
No, you're telling me they use some artistic license to expand it a bit.
Yeah.
And not gonna lie, the main actor they got, which is Taron Egerton, is a fantastic actor, and he looks and fits the part in this, in my opinion.
As soon as I saw him, I just thought, oh, it's the dude from Kingsman. I was like, oh no, he's completely different in this. And yeah, it does look really good. I do like the bit in the trailer where it goes, only 10 people outside this room have seen this. We call it the Game Boy. It's like this unveiling of the Game Boy, like half-built like cables and debug kits and stuff hanging out the back.
Do you know what the scary thing is? I'm just trying to think about how old he is. Surely the Game Boy was only around about when he was born.
Should we have a look?
Yeah.
So,
Taron
Egerton. Let's have a quick look. He was born 10th of November, 1989. So the Game Boy is older than he is.
There you go then. So he was born after the Game Boy, yet he's doing a movie about Tetris and talk about the Game Boy. Yeah. Surely there's a bit of a, twist there.
Well, I suppose anyone who's doing a World War II movie, chances are they probably weren't there, so it's not unheard of. But anyone who wants to watch trailer, they can do in the show notes, as usual. But I'd definitely go and watch it. And this is coming the 31st of March, and it's exclusive to Apple TV.
Now, even though it is exclusive to Apple TV, unfortunately, I don't pay for it currently or anything. But if you have Game Pass, there is currently a free, is it like a 3-month trial you can get for Apple TV?
I have no idea. Because I have Apple One, I usually don't look at them.
Okay. Well, currently with the Xbox, you can get a trial. So once it comes out, hopefully the trial's still knocking about, so you can watch it or just have a quick look to see when it expires.
Yeah, they usually give you a free trial as well. If you've bought any Apple devices recently, it's usually a free trial that you can sign up for through them as well.
Okay, but yeah, watch the trailer, and the movie definitely does look like it'll be a good watch.
Now, finally, in the never-ending crusade against Microsoft and the Activision Blizzard merger, the UK's Competition and Markets Authority has given weight to a potential Switch successor coming out soon.
Yes. They released a document, and within the document, they talk about Nintendo Switch Online.
They don't talk about Switch Online so much as they're just throwing shade at Nintendo again. I've got a feeling the CMA really hate Nintendo. First of all, they're not a real games console. They're not really next gen.
Subpar.
They're not really a home console. They don't count. Now, they're saying the Nintendo Online service isn't really an online service.
No. Well, I'm sorry. The exact wording is Nintendo Switch Online has been excluded from most shares as Nintendo's cloud gaming service is very limited.
Yeah.
That's very harsh worded.
It is.
It's a really, really harsh wording. However, on the next line, they do say that Nintendo's cloud gaming service is only available on the Nintendo Switch device and a redacted thing. Is a redacted section. So, what's redacted?
Wow.
What they mentioned? Because the only thing we know is on the Nintendo Switch.
Well, yeah, 100%. Obviously, it's a Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch U, if you would.
If they need to call it Nintendo Switch U, then they just need to bin it.
This could be anything, in all fairness. I was
It
thinking
could, but what?
the obvious one that everyone will jump to is a new Switch, a Switch 2, or a
Yes.
completely new console. However, I think it could even be an online service for your mobile.
I was about to say, do you know, I was thinking a mobile service. So that is a possibility, but why would they redact it if it was a mobile? Because surely mobile isn't a massive...
Yeah, well, it's something that hasn't been announced.
That's very true.
Also, if Nintendo said, oh yeah, Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Online is coming to, let's just say, is a mobile device. Like, for all we know, it could be coming to Xbox. We don't know, do we?
Joe was thinking Xbox. That's it.
So if it was coming to another platform, then that might actually harm their sales of the Switch for the rest of the year. If someone's thinking,
yes,
well, I really want it because I want to play all these Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games that are coming out. And then someone goes, oh, yeah, but they're coming to mobile or another system or another platform. They're like, oh, I'll leave getting the Switch, then I'll just get them on there.
Well, exactly, because that's similar to, I'm sure I read something the other day saying that people are asking for a refund for one of the latest Call of Duty games because they've announced another Call of Duty game coming out soon. So if Activision done that for Call of Duty, then Nintendo, if they did it, they're shooting themselves in the foot, aren't they?
Have you ever heard of something called the Osborne effect?
Yes. We've been over it a couple of times.
Right, yeah. So they released this computer and they're like, oh yeah, it's great. However, we're coming out with a faster, better, cheaper version in 9 months, 12 months. So no one bought the existing computer and the company went out of business because everyone was hanging on for the second version of the system. That's obviously what Nintendo want to avoid. Not that it put them out of business. I'm not being funny. They've sold over 100 million Switches, so I think they're okay for now.
I don't see anything can hamper their sales, but they want to keep as many consoles selling as long as possible before they do release anything else.
Yeah. One thing I will say, though, and it's kind of related to this, but it wasn't in this report, Nintendo have said that the Nintendo Online service going forward will be something that spans from the Switch to a potential successor or into the future.
Yeah.
So it looks like Nintendo may be finally following in PlayStation's to an extent, but Xbox's footsteps, where their service will carry across and your games will carry across with you.
Basically like a live service.
Yeah. Although it might not actually be your Switch games that carry across. It might just be these Mega Drive, Genesis, NES, SNES, N64 titles. It might be those titles that carry across.
Well, all the everything within Switch Online.
Yeah, everything with Nintendo Switch Online and the expansion pack.
Well, I'm excited to see what does happen. Something's redacted. Obviously, we are speculating, so don't take this as any sort of like it's happening because it's not.
Yeah, especially if we're telling you it's happening. Don't believe a word we say.
No, not in the slightest.
That's all the news we've got for this week, I think.
It is indeed. I think it's been quite a hefty news week, but we've gone through it quite quickly.
Yeah. The new Retro Gaming Dads podcast, now with 95% less waffle.
No. We'll still fit waffle in there every now and then, but it's just a one-off episode. We might have to cut it out.
Although, in all fairness, we do have to come clean. The real reason this episode's shorter than it normally would be is we just want to play on some Xbox for a bit. You're allowed on the Xbox. Miles is downstairs asleep. This might be our only chance.
In all fairness, one of the main reasons why I can play the Xbox tonight is, unfortunately, my little daughter broke her leg today. So she's resting upstairs. My wife's looking after her, so she said you can go play what you want. So I'm like, yes.
You've got to admit, that's dedication. Doing that to your daughter just so you can get games night.
Don't even say something like that. Flip me. I was at work the entire time.
Oh, that's a convenient alibi, isn't it?
Okay.
In all fairness, though, is she okay?
She's very sad. She's very, very sad. She keeps looking at her leg and cries. She looks at her leg and cries. And she tries to walk, but she can't. So she's really sad, bless her. But she's doing okay otherwise.
Hope she gets better really quick.
Thanks.
And can continue running around terrorizing your household.
It's non-stop. It does feel weird not having her potting around everywhere.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm Anthony, and this is the end of this week's episode. If you'd like to find out more about anything mentioned, then please take a look at the show notes. We've been the Retro Gaming Dads, and we'll see you next time.